Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Runways and Byways travel podcast. If you're new here, my name is Julia, and I'm your host.
And my name is Katie, and I am your other host.
So today we're going to be talking about my recent trip to the Bahamas. I just got back, I believe, 4 days ago. Katie and I were just discussing this. We couldn't figure out how many days ago I got back, but I think it was 4 days ago, so it was very recent. And I have not told Katie anything about my trip, just as in the last episode, I didn't tell Katie about my whole Puerto Rico trip. This one, I didn't tell Katie anything about my Bahamas trip. So this is her first time hearing everything, and I'm really excited to talk about it. But first, Katie.
Yes, so it is my turn to have the country trivia question of the week. So this one, Julia, you might have a chance at, but we'll see. So the question is, which country produces the most coffee in the world?
Oh, I actually think I might know this. Wait, no. I have two guesses. No, three
Well,
guesses.
you only
Oh,
get
no.
one.
Because I know it's one of my three guesses.
Hmm.
Okay, well, we're going to save this to the end anyways. I'm going to really think about it the whole time we're talking today and probably forget everything I'm saying about the Bahamas because I'm going to be
Yes,
so fixated on this.
that's so funny.
But I have a chance, so I don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah, what happens if we get an answer right? Do we get a prize?
You know what we should do?
What?
We should tally all the ones we get right, and then at the end of the season, we'll see like who's the winner, and then we'll get some sort of prize. We could decide upon something.
Okay. Maybe we'll just buy a round or something.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Okay, perfect. So, do you want to just jump right into it?
Yes. Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so Bahama cruise. Why did you want to go on this specific cruise at this specific time in your life?
It actually kind of fell into my lap because we got an email from Delta Sky Miles. My fiance and I are Delta Sky Miles members, and he got an email about it. And it was like such a great deal. I think it was like $100 a night or something per person, which really is a steal because if anyone here has been on a cruise before, you know that you get transportation to your destination, obviously, but you also get free food and free entertainment for the most part. So we were like, that's such a steal. And he had actually never been on a cruise before. So this was his first time. And I was like, oh my gosh, you have to go on a cruise. So we decided to book it. And it was his off weekend. So he wouldn't need to miss any work. He would just get on the boat and go. And I was able to work around my schedule. So it just seemed like the perfect situation. So it was a Royal Caribbean cruise that we took from Port Canaveral to the Bahamas. Port Canaveral is near Orlando, for those of you that don't know. And that's pretty much why we chose it. It just kind of happened. We weren't really planning on going on a cruise. It was just in his emails, and we were like, why not?
Wow, that's actually really cool because I am also a Delta Sky Miles member, but I'm not really sure how to get the rewards. So I'm definitely gonna have to look into that because if it helps you travel and get discounts, that's amazing.
Yeah, so they actually have something. I think it's called Sky Miles Cruises or something along those lines. If you Google it, it'll definitely come up. And they have cruise discounts for pretty much every cruise line. So him and I were just going through it the other day because we were like, oh my gosh, we have to go on another cruise now. And so we were looking through all the deals, and they have some great deals for pretty much every cruise line. It's not just Royal Caribbean. They have Norwegian, I saw, Carnival, MSC, a bunch of others. So if you're looking
Wow.
for a good deal and you're a Sky Miles member, that's definitely something to check out. And if you're not a Sky Miles member, I highly recommend it. This is not a paid advertisement, just it's been great.
Yeah, one more question about the Sky Miles is it like the more money that you spend, the more points, and then the more points, then you can get these rewards, or is it just like for everybody?
No, so the Sky Miles cruise discounts are just deals that are going on right now through the Sky
Oh.
Miles program or deals that they find for you somehow. But it has nothing to do with how much you spend or how many Sky Miles you've acquired so far. It's really just everyone gets the same deal.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
we could probably do a podcast about Sky Miles at one point because I do have a lot to say about it. I've been a member for a while and it's really helped me to go a lot of places.
We actually have to because, like I said, I just got it and I don't understand it at all.
Oh yeah, so I could definitely explain
So
it to
can you
you.
help me at one point,
And
please?
I'm by no means an expert. I'm still learning it myself, but I definitely know a lot about it, and I would love to share my knowledge about it because it's helped me go so many places.
Yeah, and I feel like it would help a lot of people because we're all looking to get some sort of discount on life, you know?
Definitely. I think especially budget travelers, because it's so hard to budget your travel and make sure that you're able to afford your vacation, and it just makes it so easy to go places even if you don't really have the money on a normal day, I guess.
Yeah, totally. That's amazing. So that's totally a valid reason to go on a trip. I would do the same thing for $100 a night. And that includes food and everything, right?
Yes, it was such a steal.
Wow.
Yeah, so they had the buffet that was free, just like on our cruise. We went on an MSC cruise a couple years ago, and they had the free buffet, and I'm pretty sure every cruise does. I think every cruise I've been on has the buffet of free food for everyone that's on the cruise. So we
Hmm.
ate there primarily, and then they also had a restaurant that was free. They had a pizza place that was free. And I mean, we could get more into this later, but they just had a lot of free food and desserts and a lot of free stuff. So it was really worth the money.
That's really cool because when we went on our cruise, only the buffet was free. The restaurant was not free.
This cruise ship was probably the same size as our cruise, but it was more high end, I guess. So
Mm,
I could get more into the amenities on the boat, but it was definitely geared towards higher end people than our first cruise, if that makes any sense.
right.
They had a lot more like specialty restaurants and special things you can go to. It was really interesting. It was a different experience.
That sounds really cool. Awesome. So my next question is, can you give us a day-to-day overview? Because the Bahamas is actually something I don't really know much about. So I'm really
I
excited.
I actually didn't know much about it either before I went. I just knew it was a Caribbean island. And I've been to Caribbean islands before. Like you and I have gone to some together, and I just went to Puerto Rico recently, but I knew nothing about the Bahamas except blue water. That's pretty much the extent of it. And I
Yeah.
feel like everyone's been to the Bahamas that I speak to, and I was just like, I've been everywhere except the Bahamas. So it was kind of cool to finally go. And what did you say you wanted me to go through day by day?
Yeah, if you can go through day by day, because I know cruises, they include excursions. So if you did any of that, kind of like what's the vibe, what's the feel of a Bahamas cruise?
Yeah, sure. So we got on the cruise on Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, we had excursions. And then Sunday early, we got off the boat. Wait, no. Yes. No. Let me think. Please hold. So we got on Friday. We sailed off Friday. We got August 26th, we got on. Then the 27th, we were in Nassau. The 28th, we were, oh, so the 28th is Sunday. And then the 29th is Monday. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Not good at math.
Wait, so it's for 3 days that you went?
So Friday was pretty much a full day. Friday, August 26th. I'm gonna say the date so I don't get confused. Friday, August 26th was a full day on the boat. Um, we got on the boat that morning. Saturday, the 27th was a full day in Nassau. Sunday, the 28th was a full day in Cococay, which is Royal Caribbean's private island.
Wow.
That's owned by the Bahamas. I'm not really sure, but it's the private island of Royal Caribbean that's also part of the Bahamas. And then Monday, the 29th, we got off the boat super early.
Okay, so it's a kind of like a quick little vacation.
Yeah, and my fiance had time to go into work Monday. He made it in time for work, so it was just really cool. We didn't have to miss anything.
And it's like, what did you do over the weekend? Anything fun? Anything different? Oh yeah, I just went on a Bahamas cruise.
Exactly. I felt so bougie telling people that.
Wow, that's so cool. So did you do any specific excursions? Like what is it like on the actual boat?
Yes. So Friday was the total boat day. So we got on the boat. It was really easy getting on the boat. They actually just relaxed their COVID restrictions on the boat. So they didn't really care that much. So it was pretty easy getting on and everything. And once we got on, we explored everything the ship has to offer. They had rock climbing, they had bungee jumping, they had a water slide. They
Wait,
had
bungee jumping?
Yeah, it was like they attached you to like bungee cords, and they had like these trampolines, and it was actually VR bungee jumping. And so they
Wow.
give you like a VR headset. I actually didn't do it, and I'm so bummed out that I didn't do it. We were just
Oh.
too busy exploring the boat and everything because there was just so much to do there. And we didn't get to do the bungee jumping, but that was there and it was so cool.
Wow.
They had the water slide, they had an escape room.
Wow. This is
Yeah.
like a nice cruise.
Yeah, I told you. It's like it's kind of more of a luxury type cruise, even though it was so cheap.
Wow. Well, it was cheap
And
because of the rewards.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I think these short cruises kind of always are somewhat cheap.
Mm.
And especially like other cruise companies I know are a bit cheaper. Like MSC, I was looking at their prices and it was like the Sky Miles deals are like $32 a day or something. I was like, what?
Wait, $32 a day for an MSC cruise?
Yes,
Why are we not there right
I
now?
know, right?
Because our cruise was very, very nice. Like
Our cruise was
that, I think
so fun.
that was my favorite vacation of all time. But from the sound of this, I feel like this would be even better.
It was a different experience because I think our MSC cruise was more of like a party cruise. This one is definitely party, and I'll explain to you like they had a lot of party things, but we didn't really do that. We kind of had a more chill vacation, I guess. We didn't go to all the parties, we didn't do all the fun events. So it was a very different experience. And I'll
Yeah, when we
definitely tell
went, we
you,
were like the life of the party.
we were crazy.
We were nuts. We stayed out every day till 4 a.m. and then went on excursions at like 9 a.m.
I think one night we stayed up the whole night and just watched the sunrise or something.
And then we went to like Cayman Islands
Why did we do that?
because we were young and crazy.
Young and dumb. But I don't regret it at all. That was so fun.
No, yeah, for sure. But this cruise sounds really amazing.
It was definitely a very different experience, and I really want to take you on a Royal Caribbean cruise one day just so you could see the difference for yourself.
Yeah,
Because yeah, they just had a lot of it was more quote unquote high end.
that's really cool.
Yeah, the boat had pretty much everything. My fiance was in like complete shock. I mean, it had the same thing, a lot of the same things that our other boat had. It had a theater, stuff like that, just like lounges that you can go to. It had some restaurants and they called it the promenade, and it was just basically it's almost like a street on a boat. They have like all different shops and it was really
What?
cool. They had a candy shop, they had just a general shop, they had a jewelry shop, clothing stores, like a Michael Kors store, a pizza place. All the
Wow.
pizza was free. They had a Starbucks, which I know you love.
Starbucks is free?
So if you have, I think there's three different types of drink packages. There's, I think just soda, and then there's, no, maybe I'm wrong, but there's a couple different types of drink packages. Please don't quote me on this at all, but I think it's called the refresher drink package, and that one does include Starbucks.
Julia, I would go nuts. Yeah, I would
I
not
know.
go anywhere outside of the boat. I would just be in Starbucks all day. If it was free.
I know. And actually, we ran into people we knew on the boat. We went to an ice show on the boat. They had like an ice rink. And my fiance's friend from work comes up and sits next to us. And I was like, who is this random guy sitting next to us? Like, I'm going to punch him in the face. Like, we're sitting alone. Why is this random guy sitting next to us? And then, like, all of a sudden, my fiance and him are just like screaming, like, so happy. I was like, what is going on? And turns out
Oh my
they're
gosh.
colleagues. They know each other from work and they're like really good friends at work. And it was really cool because he got the refresher package. So we were getting free Starbucks the whole cruise.
Oh, that's smart. So it's like one person gets a refresher package.
Yeah, I mean, like you have to give your room number and everything, but he was just getting it for us. So it was like so nice because we didn't get a drink package.
Oh wow. Wait, that's so funny too. It's like the same workplace that they're from and they're both on a Bahamas cruise over
I
the
know, it was so
weekend.
funny. We were like, what are you doing here?
That's so funny.
So we kind of had friends the whole cruise that we didn't even know were going to be there.
Wow. That's the thing about cruises. I feel like it's so easy to make friends.
I know, especially when you already know someone and just run into them. It was like, what?
Yeah. So basically you said the first day you were exploring the boat, but like what exactly were you exploring on the boat?
So, like I mentioned before, the kind of main thing that we did, we were just kind of walking around and going into all the shops on the promenade and checking out. It was called the Windjammer. It's the where they have all the food and everything. My fiance was like, "Oh my God, this is all free." So we spent
Oh
a
my
while in
gosh.
there. He had a lot of food, and we entered into the spa raffle. We didn't win, and we went to the ice show. I think that's all we did that day.
So what's the ice show?
So it was a figure skating show. And it was
On a cruise?
yeah, on a cruise. And actually they have ice skating sessions that like when they're not having the figure skating show, like people on the cruise can go ice skating. And they
Wow.
have laser tag in the same room and everything. It's really cool. We didn't
I
do
feel like it's so
either,
hard to
but
believe that this is real.
I
It's
know I
like a
told you
dream.
they have everything.
Wow.
Yeah, I definitely want to show you pictures. I can't show people who are listening pictures, unfortunately, but I'm gonna show Katie pictures and
Are
I'll
you gonna
post
make
them
a
on my
blog
blog.
post? Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say, yeah.
eventually I'll make a blog post. I'm kind of working through them. I'm trying to catch up with all the trips I've had recently. I just posted the Puerto Rico one today, actually.
Yay,
Yeah,
exciting.
finally. So I think I'm gonna
Yeah,
try to work on Bahamas next, but no promises. Don't hold me to it.
I'll hold you to
I know you
it.
will.
Okay, so first day sounds really fun. And then what about Saturday? Because that was your full day on the boat.
Yeah, so Saturday we docked in Nassau in the Bahamas. So Nassau is, I think Nassau's the name of the island, I believe. I'm not sure what city we were in Nassau. It was something with George. George was in the name because I was like, oh, that's my dad's name.
I was about to say that's your dad's name.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, dad. But we were on Nassau. It was near where, you know, that Atlantis hotel that you see on all the commercials, the one with that water slide with the sharks.
Yeah.
It was right near that. Like when we docked, we could see that from the boat.
Oh, interesting.
What we did that day, my fiance, the whole trip, he was like, I don't want to do any excursions. Let's just do this as cheap as possible. But I was like, no, do it right or don't do it at all.
Oh.
So I I went against his word and I booked a snorkeling excursion for that first day in Nassau because I know he likes snorkeling and I knew he would agree to it. We did the snorkeling and I actually had a lot of fun. Like I told you in the last podcast, I've actually been getting kind of good at snorkeling.
That's so
So
funny.
I have a funny story about snorkeling to tell you later on as we get later into the podcast, and I'm definitely going to remember it. There's no way I'll forget to tell you. But
Okay.
but we did go snorkeling this first day. And we went on a boat. It was a sailboat, but it definitely had a motor in it because they didn't have the sail up and it went
Mm-hmm.
pretty fast and it took us over a reef. And so we were snorkeling there and I actually think we saw more fish than we saw in Puerto Rico. They had so many tropical fish and
Wow.
like schools and schools of them. And they were beautiful. I think they were blue and yellow stripes. Someone said they were tetras, but I thought tetras were small and they were kind of big. This guy actually he was one of the people on the boat with us. He didn't work there or anything, but I think he had a lot of experience snorkeling and everything. And he brought some fish meat with him or something. And he put his fist in front of my face while I was underwater. I was like, "What are you doing? Are you gonna punch me?" Like I was so confused. And he just kept like waving it in front of my face. I was like, "What is going on?" And then he opened his hand and all the food comes out and all these beautiful tropical fish start swimming in front of my face. It was so cool because I
Wow.
had no idea he was going to do it. And it was just like a whole school of tropical fish right in front of my face. It was so surreal.
What a man.
Yeah, right. And then he gave me some more afterwards after I figured out what he was doing. So he gave me some and I held it in my hand and the fish started eating out of my hand and they actually had really sharp teeth. One of them bit me. I was like, oh God. And
Of
I
course.
dropped all the food. Yeah. Because I did not see it coming. Yeah, they had such sharp teeth.
Wow.
Yeah, like they scare you talking about sharks and all that, but tetras are the main threat.
Oh my God. See, okay, if snorkeling was like that, I would go more. I felt like every time I went snorkeling, I hardly see anything.
Yeah, there was so much to see.
Wow.
And well, there was so much to see, but it was kind of all the same stuff. Like there was just a lot of schools of fish. We didn't see any turtles. We didn't see any barracudas.
I'm turtled out.
Yeah, I know. I'm so over turtles at this point. No more turtles.
No more turtles. I'd rather see schools of fish. I feel like that's really cool with all the colors.
It was so beautiful. We saw a ton of different types of fish. We saw one of those long yellow ones, like one of those really long ones, and they have like a pointy, I don't want to say nose, but like a pointy mouth.
Pointy nose.
I don't know. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Like, they kind of look like eels, but they're not eels.
You have to
Oh,
show me a picture later,
I don't have a picture.
but I'm sure you
But
can Google one.
probably not. Because the way I just described it to you, I don't know what they're called.
That's so funny.
But we saw one of those and I just thought it was so cool because it was so different. I was like, what is that thing? So many cool fish. My one complaint was that I think we were just snorkeling for too long. It was fine, I guess, but a storm was coming in and the water started getting crazy.
That's really cool.
I was kind of tired. And so by the time, and we drifted really far from the boat, or the boat drifted far from us. I'm not really sure what happened, but we wound up super, super far from the boat. And we had to swim so far back to it, and we were just so tired from snorkeling. And I literally thought I was gonna drown. I was like, all right, this is it. I'm dying in the Bahamas.
Wow.
And I
Which
made
is
it
not a bad place to die.
not a bad place to die at all. And I made it right up to the steps of the boat, and there was this guy just chilling on the steps, and like he didn't see me there, and I'm not confrontational. So I was like, all right, I'll just drown. And
I don't want to bother you, so I'll just die.
I'll just die, it's fine. And eventually he
Wow.
moved, and I was able to get on the boat. But he was just sitting there for so long. I thought I was gonna die because the water started getting so choppy.
That's really
And
fun.
there actually wound up being no storm. The whole ride back, I was like, can we please go explore Nassau and go to all the shops? And my fiance was like, no, it's gonna rain. We're having a tropical storm. Can't you see? And I was like, no, it looks fine. And it actually wound up being fine. So we got a chance to go to all the shops after that. They had like these little huts set up, I guess you can call them. And they were like selling things out of the huts. It was like a little market almost.
That's really cool. I love those things.
I know. So cool. And they had like wooden crafts that people hand carved, and I got these earrings that were made out of conch shells.
Wow, you have to show me. You have so many things to show me.
I know, I do. It's so hard to talk about it and not show you anything.
Yeah.
So we bought a lot of little things there, and my fiance got a Cuban cigar there, which he
Ooh.
wound up getting sick from because he like doesn't smoke at all ever. And so when he tried it on the boat, he got so sick, and I was like taking care of him the whole rest of the night.
Fun.
And then, yeah, I didn't really have any of it, and I'm glad I didn't, because
Oh,
what happened to
yeah.
him. So he got that there. We went to a couple other shops that were like actual shops and just walked around. They were mostly souvenir touristy shops, but it was nice just to check it out and check out what the island has to offer besides the snorkeling.
Mm-hmm.
So that was our day on Nassau.
I have a question.
Yes,
I don't know if you'll know the answer to this,
probably.
but
Not.
you said, so you went snorkeling because Nato loves snorkeling. Do you know what other excursions there were?
I do, some of them, yeah. I actually saw one of the Jeeps. It was like one of the big ones with a lot of seats.
That's really cool.
So I know they did that. There was a couple different types of snorkeling tours. Ours had an open bar. Some of them didn't have open bars. There was, I'm trying to remember, dolphins, swimming with dolphins.
Never done that.
Yeah, I've never done it either, but we actually saw dolphins. You know how last time I was talking to you about how I've never seen a dolphin in the wild? I actually saw one when we were leaving Port Canaveral. It was jumping out of the water. I was like, finally!
I've never seen a dolphin.
I know, yeah. I hadn't either until that. I was so excited. They had swimming with dolphins. I don't remember anything else, but they had things like that.
That's really cool.
I think
I would love to do that Jeep tour.
I know, it sounded really cool. I was kind of bummed that we didn't do it, especially because we could have done it because it left after we came back. So we totally could have done 2 in one day. But, you know, everything happens for a reason. Now I got to go back.
Yeah, we have to go back.
Exactly. I got to take you there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those were the excursions that I could remember. I think they had swimming with, what are they called? Stingrays?
That's scary. I don't know if I do that.
Yeah, I have a story about that. I'll tell you that later.
Okay.
But so yeah, that was that day. And then after we got on the boat, they had a lot of fun activities this day. Whoops, I'm sorry if you heard that. I dropped my highlighter. They had a
Okay.
You know, I just like hold things when I talk. It's just like a stress thing.
That's relatable.
Yeah. So I dropped my highlighter. But they had a lot of fun things on the boat that we could do that day because it was the first day and everyone was in like the party mood. I think they had like 3 parties that night. We only wound up going to one, and we didn't even drink. We just kind of went to see it, and it was on that promenade. So remember that area I told you about that was kind of like a street, and they had all the shops on the sides that you can go to. So they actually had the party on the promenade. They had bridges above the promenade that the dancers were standing on, and it was an 80s party. So they only played 80s music. And they played
amazing.
They played Michael Jackson.
Yes.
I thought of you.
Oh, thank you.
And it's funny because they were playing Michael Jackson there and they were playing Casey Musgraves in the hallways. I was like, this is Katie's cruise.
This is God's way of saying you need to bring Katie.
Yeah, right. I was
That's
like, God, now I feel
hysterical.
bad. Even though I did invite you.
You did.
Yeah.
I had school, but
So it's your
next
own
time
fault.
it's my own fault
But that was God trying to tell you that you made a mistake
by going back and
by
being
having a
teacher.
job.
Yeah. I should have quit my job to go.
Exactly.
Wow, that's amazing. No, that sounds like the best party ever, literally.
Yeah, the 80s party was so cool because the whole promenade got packed out and like you couldn't even walk, just so many people. Everyone was drinking and having fun and dancing, and there was the professional dancers up top. I think that's all we did that day. We went to the Windjammer again for dinner, which, like I said before, is the buffet. I think that's it. They had a couple other parties. They have a nightclub on the boat. So they had like an 80s after party there. And they had a red party where I think you had to wear red. I didn't have anything red, so I didn't go. But I'm sure they wouldn't have kicked me out. I mean,
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
yeah, and we were tired anyway because we had an early morning the next morning, so we just kind of checked in for the night. But it was a fun day. I mean, it could have been more of a party cruise for us. I wish we did kind of go a little crazier at the parties like you and I did.
That's
But
so funny.
we still had a ton of fun. It was a really fun day.
Yeah.
So that was the second day. Now that brings me to the third day, where we went to the Royal Caribbean's private island. And
Ooh.
it's called Cococay. And it's also part of the Bahamas Islands. So like I said before, I'm not really sure how the ownership of that island works, but it is part of the Bahamas. And only Royal Caribbean cruisers are allowed on it. So at the time I was there, it was my boat and another boat of like the same size. And both of them, I believe, were the same cruise. It was like a 3-day Bahamas cruise, and we just wound up in all the same ports at the same time. So there was 2 big boats of people on the island. They had tons of beaches. So as soon as you get there, you get onto a tram, and the tram takes you all around the whole island. They tell you, okay, if you want to go to this beach, you go here. If you want to go to the private cabanas, you go here. So we actually had swimming with the pigs that day. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
for anyone that doesn't know, in the Bahamas, they have pigs that are native to the islands and they actually swim in the water. And I don't think they're the same type of pigs that you eat. I'm not 100% sure. They're like kind
Oh
of
gosh.
they're kind of like furry, but
Wow.
I don't think they're like farm pigs. Like they're pigs, but I think they're a different breed.
Yeah, I hope they don't, 'cause that's really sad.
I don't think they eat them. I
Yeah.
mean, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure they don't because they're such a touristy thing. Like, why would they eat them?
Yeah.
Although, yeah. Although not to make everyone sad, but I watched Shark Week this year and the sharks actually eat them, which is so sad.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
I know, but just anyone who watches Shark Week, those are the pigs I'm talking about.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's
I
like if I'm
know.
swimming with something and having fun with it, I don't want to know that I can potentially
I don't
eat.
want it to die. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that also scares me because while I was in there, I was like, oh my gosh, are there tiger sharks here? Because that's what the whole Shark Week episode was about. And I was like, oh no, they're here. So
Were they?
I have a story. But we'll get to that. So this was an interesting day. So we had to take a boat from Cococay to the pigs. They were actually on a separate island. It was called Treasure Island, but it was very close to Cococay.
Oh.
Yeah, it was weird because they told us it would be a 30-minute boat ride and it was like maybe 5. So that was kind of weird. So we got to the island and it was definitely a little touristy, but I'm glad I did it. Like you had to like pay for your pictures with the pigs, but you did get to swim with them. You got to hold them.
That's a picture worth having, though.
It is. It really is. So we did buy our pictures, and
You have to show me that too.
I will. I look so bad in them, but I will show you.
As long as the pigs look good.
The pigs look great. They look so happy.
Aw.
And then one of the pigs actually climbed on my shoulders and knocked me over. Got a picture of that too.
Oh my gosh, I need to see this. This
They
is
were super
incredible.
cute.
Wow.
Some of them were really big too.
Wow.
Definitely bigger than me, some of them. I mean, I'm a small person, but they were really big.
This sounds like the best trip ever.
It was really, really fun. I wish you were there.
I know.
And the water was so, so clear. I have to show you all the pictures. You could see straight to the bottom.
Wow. That's
And
amazing.
even in the pictures with the pigs, I was looking at them and I was like, oh my God, you could see my feet. Just so
Wow.
crazy.
I feel like the Bahamas is such a thing that you hear ever since you're little, like Bahamas, but like when you grow up, you just kind of like forget about it because you're like, oh, it's so basic. It's just a beach. But this sounds amazing.
It was so fun. And I just never really had that much of a desire to go because
Exactly.
I mean, I do want to see every country in the world. I want to see all the ends of the earth. It's just something I want to do. But
Me too,
Bahamas
yeah.
was never top of my list. I just never
Hmm.
really cared. But I should have cared. It was so fun.
Because I feel like people don't talk about the specifics that are in the Bahamas, like these pigs, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah, no, nobody does. I just always thought it was just a beach that you
me
just lay on
too.
and chill. And I
Yeah,
always knew the water is pretty, but there's just so much even below the water to see, which I
that's really
will
cool.
get to.
Okay.
This is where things get interesting.
Okay.
So we finished up with the pigs. It actually started raining right when we finished with the pigs. So we were kind of stuck there a little longer than we were expected because we were waiting for the rain to subside. And that's just how the Caribbean is. Like it just rains at random times for like 10 minutes and then everything's sunny and beautiful again. So we just had to wait for like 10 minutes for the rain to stop. And then we took the boat back to Cococay and we were on the part of Cococay, which is called Chill Beach. So like I said before, they have a lot of different areas to chill in, if you will.
Yeah.
And they actually have a water park also. That was one of the excursions you could have booked for that day. They have like this tremendous water slide that I would never ever do. You could not pay me enough money. It's like one of those that you're just sitting in it and they press the button and you just drop.
Oh, that's not for me either,
I
but
hate that.
that sounds amazing that for a cruise excursion, you can go to a water park.
Yeah, like most of the island is a water park, so that's really, really cool. And I think they had two, don't quote me on this, but I think they had two beaches that were like beaches. They had one beach that was just for like private cabana people. So if you paid like $2,000, you can go there. Never. Like more expensive than the cruise.
Yeah, way more expensive.
Yeah. And
Wow.
yeah, so and they actually had the food, they had complimentary food as well. So they had some restaurants on the island, but they also had a buffet on the island and they had a taco bar and a burger bar and it was all free. So nice.
I want to go right now.
I know, it was amazing. So it was such a chill day, except for what I'm about to tell you next.
Ooh,
So after we get back from the pigs, and I don't mean to scare anyone because this literally would only happen to me, but
it's true, yeah.
well, you'll see. But after we got back from the pigs, we went to Chill Island and we actually ran into my fiance's friends there. Again, so weird because we just kept running into them and there was so many people on the boat. So it was just weird that we kept running into them. But anyway, we ran into them and we just went in the water and they were telling us because they were there all day. They didn't have an excursion that day. So they were telling us, oh, there's these huge tropical fish in the water. They're like see-through and their tails are blue. And so I was like, oh, amazing. So we got our snorkel gear and we went into the water. And this is not the chaotic part, really. It gets worse. But we were hanging out with those fish, and a couple of them bit me, and it was kind of weird. And they kept smacking into me. And it was just kind of weird. I don't like when fish touch me,
Me neither, yeah.
but that's not the weird part or the terrible part. Um, so we wound up going deeper into the water after that. We were swimming around. Someone said they saw a shark. We were like, oh, let's go try to find the shark. And my fiance actually found the shark. I didn't see it, but he did find it, which is so scary. He got it on his
Yeah.
GoPro. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I want to see the shark. So I went to join him because at that point I was still with his friends because I just was like over snorkeling at that point. I was just like, no. So I went and joined him. I saw this really beautiful starfish and we started looking again for the shark. And as we get deeper in the water, he's like, why don't you fix your goggles to just get rid of the the fog in them? So I was like, okay, so we get above the water. I take off my goggles to get rid of the fog. And literally the second I put my head back into the water, I get stung by a jellyfish in my mouth.
What?
In my mouth.
Did this happen?
Yes, this happened.
No. I'm saying like, did this happen to like people? Like, is this a thing that
Uh,
jellyfish sting people in the mouth?
I think it was just my face was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And
My
it,
God.
it got my whole upper lip inside my upper lip, like my front teeth and part of my bottom lip. And I was like crying. And
I'd freak out.
it got my leg, it got like near my boobs also.
No, wait, did it like just repeatedly sting you?
Yes. And my fiance got stung also.
Oh my God.
And so we went to the lifeguard because I didn't even care about the one on my leg, which was kind of bad, but I didn't even care. I was just so focused on the one that was in my mouth because it hurt so bad.
I mean, yeah, that's like not a place that anybody should be.
Yeah,
Like
my
any
lips
animal.
swelled up. So we went up to the lifeguard and we were like, "Oh, I just got stung in the mouth by a jellyfish." And he just started cracking up. I was like, "Not now,"
Wait, why was he laughing?
because it's just so random.
I
Like
mean,
that
it's
literally
random, but
happens
like,
to no one.
yeah,
He
like
was
that's
like,
so scary.
"I know." He was like, "What were you trying to make out with the jellyfish?" I was like, "No,
Can you just like
help me."
have some empathy for a second?
Right?
Oh, I would be, Julia, I would be in hysterics, crying, screaming, like
I
freaking
was.
out
He had to drag me out of the water. So embarrassing.
while he's laughing.
No, actually, my fiance dragged me out of the water. And then
Oh, okay.
we went to the lifeguard and we told him and then he started
Oh,
laughing at me.
okay.
Yeah, so I was already out of the water at that point. And
Wow.
so he gave me this vinegar stuff. So apparently vinegar is good for that. And I was like, "Oh, no one has to pee on my mouth, do they?" Because they say that pee helps with jellyfish. So I
I
was
wonder
like,
if that's a real thing.
apparently it's been debunked, but I know some people still do it.
That's
So
so
I
funny.
was like, I really don't want anyone to pee in my mouth. But he was like, no, we don't have to do that. It's fine. So I did the vinegar
Imagine.
thing, which which didn't help at all. And then we wound up getting a cup of ice and I was just icing it. And it really did hurt. It hurt like the whole day. So I
Wow,
mean,
that's really annoying.
yeah, what are you gonna do about it? But the stingray thing that I forgot to tell you about was it was definitely before I got stung by the jellyfish because once I got stung by the jellyfish, I was like, that's it, I'm out. But so we did see a stingray in the water before the jellyfish stung me. I was swimming kind of close to it, but not too close because like I don't want to get too close, they're wild animals and people have died from them, like Steve Irwin. So I just kind of was keeping my distance. I think I got too close, even though I was keeping my distance, and it shot its tail up with the stinger or barbs or whatever it has on it. It like
Oh
shot up its
gosh.
tail at me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So, and I can't swim that fast, so I was like, "Get me out of here! Get me out of here!"
Julia. Oh
So,
my gosh.
so that was a weird day.
Wow. Yeah, I'd be really stressed out that day.
And you know what's so funny is that my fiance was talking to one of his friends a couple days ago when he got back to work and everything. And his friend was saying that he has also been to Cococay and he was asking the lifeguard if there was jellyfish there and the lifeguard said no.
This is sus.
Right? The lifeguard said there's no jellyfish. I got stung in the mouth.
And the lifeguard laughed. I feel like we need to do a conspiracy theory about these lifeguards.
Right? Like what is going on? That was such a weird day, but it was really fun. I mean, I don't want to scare anyone out of going to Cococay because it was so, so, so beautiful. I got so many gorgeous pictures there. I felt like I was in like Tahiti or Bora Bora or something. It was just so pretty.
Wow. I cannot wait to see these pictures.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
Wow.
But that was that day.
Okay, so that was Sunday. Did you do anything at night?
We did. So they had a performance of Grease on the boat.
Wait, you know what's so funny?
What?
Wait, this was Sunday. I think I actually it might have been on the same day, but I saw Grease in theaters.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That is so weird.
I honestly think it was like we might have been watching Grease at the same time. And you were listening to Michael Jackson and Casey Musgraves. I feel like this is weird.
That's so crazy.
The universe is literally like, why is she not here?
I know.
Wait,
That
so
was
it
just
was
another sign.
Wait, so it was a live performance of Grease?
Yes, it was a live performance. They did have a
Wow.
movie theater also, which we didn't go to either. But we saw a live performance of Grease, and they were all really great. And I was in Grease a while ago in high school, and I played Marty. She's one of Sandy's friends. Don't give me that face. She was
Sandy's
one of
no,
the
no,
main
no. I'm trying to
characters.
think who Marty. Wait, Marty's the girl who was trying to get with the TV producer guy.
I think you're thinking of Hairspray.
No, I'm thinking of Grease. Remember when they did that dance off in the
Oh, right.
gym? And I
Yes.
forgot the guy's name.
No, that was Patty.
Who's Marty?
Marty, okay, so Marty in the movie has a pretty insignificant role, but in the theater production, she has like her own song, and
Oh.
so she's the one whose house they went to when they had the sleepover.
That's the girl who's trying to get with the TV guy.
Was she? Oh, no, you're so right. I was thinking of Patty because I think they were both flirting with him.
No, there was no
No?
other girl. It was Frenchie, Rizzo, and then
No.
this girl Marty.
Patty was like the annoying cheerleader.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
I
wasn't
think
really Sandy's friend though. She was just kind of there.
no, she wasn't. Everyone
Yeah.
hated her.
Oh, so you played Marty? She's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I played her. I had my own song, but they actually cut that song out of this version. I was like, no, I was so ready to sing. But it
Oh.
was still really cool because I knew all the other songs and I was kind of singing along. It
Yeah.
was really, really fun to watch. I love Grease. And that night we also went to a fancy dinner, and actually the fancy dinner was free too. It was complimentary. So
Wow.
I got a steak. I think I got mashed potatoes and a steak, something like that. Really
Sounds
good.
good.
I got a salad, just my usual. I
Just
get the same thing
staple
everywhere.
good
Yeah.
meal. Yeah.
And then that was pretty much it. I think we went to a lounge, just chilled out, but we didn't do any of the crazy parties. I think they had a 70s party that night, but
More
we,
Michael Jackson.
right? But we cleared out before that. We went to bed because they told us we had to be off the boat super early the next day because there was a NASA launch that was happening at Port Canaveral. They were launching I think Artemis 1.
Okay.
But
random.
it's like it's going to the moon or something. So it was like a big deal. I don't really care about space.
Yeah.
But so we had to
You're
get
like,
off the boat
my
right away.
cruise is ending early because of this.
I know. Despicable. But they actually wound up not even launching the rocket because there was something wrong with the engine. So we had to get off early for no reason.
What time do you have to get off at?
Like 5 a.m.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So that was kind of awful.
If it
And
was the old us, we would have just partied all night and then just got off.
we would have stayed up the whole night. We would have been ready.
Yeah.
Ready with our bags, just the whole night staying up.
That's so funny.
We definitely have to. So that was the whole cruise. I definitely think we have to do this though. It'd probably be a different experience.
We would be dead.
I know.
Wow, that sounds so much fun. So I actually do have a couple of questions for you before we kind of wrap it up. First question is, and you've mentioned it before, but I kind of want to know why. What do you think was the highlight of the cruise and why?
The highlight of the cruise. Okay. Like being on the cruise or just the whole experience?
I guess the whole experience. I guess both.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, but probably when I got stung by the jellyfish in the mouth.
Wow.
It was just so funny. Looking
You just
back,
love to tell a good story.
Looking back, it's just such a good story to tell at a party. I have so many friends.
And that's all that matters, really.
That is all that matters.
That's really funny.
It just kept things interesting. But if that didn't happen, I think it was just a great experience overall. The snorkeling was really, really cool. We just saw so many things.
Yeah.
So many more sea creatures than I expected to see. So I think, and I mean, we didn't see things that I expected to see. I expected to see barracuda because I heard there was a lot of barracuda in where did I go? The Bahamas.
Oh my gosh.
But we saw so many fish, and I'm so grateful to see what we saw. And it was just so great overall. I had a great time.
Amazing. So my next question is, was there anything you would have changed about the trip if you could do it again?
I do wish we stayed out and enjoyed the boat a little more. It was a short cruise, so it was kind of hard to get everything done. I feel like we really didn't enjoy much of the boat at all. We didn't do the rock climbing. We didn't do the ice skating. No
Bungee
escape room,
jumping.
bungee jumping. We didn't do any of that. And it's just kind of sad looking back. I really wanted to do the water slide. We didn't do that either. So it's just so many things that I didn't get to do
It's
that I
hard because
wish
it's
I
such a
could have.
short cruise, you know?
Exactly. I just feel like we didn't do anything
Wow.
because we were so busy doing all of the excursions. And by the time we came back, we were just so tired and didn't want to. I mean, I kind of wanted to because you know me, I just have endless energy on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, no, we need to get to bed early. And I'm not confrontational. So I was just like, all right, we'll go to bed early.
Yeah, I feel like it's the kind of thing where you go multiple times, maybe one time and you do all the excursions, and then another time you just kind of stay on the boat and do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I almost would want to do it again and just not do all the crazy excursions and just chill on the boat now that I've seen the Bahamas. And I would love to see it again, don't get me wrong. But I also want to experience the boat. So I forgot to mention before, or maybe I did mention it, but the boat we went on is called Independence of the Seas. I know some people know all the boats by heart. I know a lot of Donato's friend, my fiance, I know a lot of his friends were like, oh, what boat are you on? I know all the boats. So
Okay.
I think some people just know the boats that they have, and maybe they go on a lot of Royal Caribbean cruises, but that's the boat we were on for reference. If you want to look it up also, you could see what was on it. You could see pictures of it and see what I'm talking about.
Well, you're gonna show me your pictures.
I'm going to show you my pictures.
Yeah.
And another cool thing the boat had that I forgot to mention, actually, they had hot tubs that hung off the side of the boat. So it's like they were like suspended over the water.
Okay.
So cool.
Next time we're going to plan a Bahamas trip and we're just going to stay on the boat because honestly, like I love excursions, but I'm totally fine just having like a little boat vacation.
Really? Even though you've never been to the Bahamas, you would just
I'm fine with it because you know what? I've
really?
been to tropical places and
Yeah.
obviously it's different because like the pigs and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I would totally do that. But at this place in my life that I'm at, I don't mind just like chilling. And it's not even chilling because you're bungee jumping, you're doing this, you're doing that, like on the boat. I'm
Yeah.
down for that. Yeah.
And especially because when I think back to our cruise that we took together, all of my fondest memories of it were on the boat.
Yeah, me too.
So that's not the worst idea in the world. I actually kind of agree.
It was kind of like for us, I think the best part of our cruise was making new friends and having those kind of interactions and just fun times. Like when we went to the Cayman Islands, it was beautiful and amazing, but we kind of just hung out, you know,
Yeah,
which is amazing. But the best part is like the connections that you make.
exactly. The best part was coming back from the Cayman Islands onto the boat, seeing all our friends partying all night. That
Yeah.
was definitely what I remember from that trip.
And it's amazing too because the friends that we made on that cruise, like one was from Utah, one was from England, one was from Miami, like all these people you would never have met before. And you know, you're probably never going to meet again. And it's like, okay, we only have these couple of days. Let's just have fun. I think that's such an amazing thing to experience.
Exactly. It was just such an unlikely group of people that all came together and just had
Mhm.
so much fun together for just a week.
Yeah, every time I think about it, I just have this big smile because it's just it was such a magical trip,
It
honestly.
was. It really was. And I wish I had that experience on this cruise because we really kept to ourselves, so we didn't go out and meet people, and we met his friends on the boat. So we spent all our time just kind of in our own little group. We didn't
Hmm.
go out or do anything like that. But I really wish we did. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a great time, but it was such a different cruise experience than the one you and I took because we didn't make
Hmm.
any friends. We didn't party the whole time. We didn't do all the fun activities that the cruise has. So
Yeah.
very different experience. I do regret not doing those things, but I still had a great time.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, it sounds amazing. It's just a different type of trip, which is cool.
Exactly. Different
Yeah.
experience.
Okay, and my last couple of questions is, would you recommend this trip and for who specifically? Like what type of group of people do you think would really like to go on this trip?
I 100% recommend it, especially in saying that I would do it again. So obviously, totally recommend it. And I'm definitely recommending it to you too. I think, you know how you mentioned last time, actually, during the Puerto Rico podcast, you were asking if it's good for bachelorette parties.
Mm,
There was a lot of bachelorette parties on the boat.
that actually is really smart. That is a
Yeah,
great idea.
so smart, especially I think it would be a little hard going from because my bachelorette party, all my friends were coming from New York. So I think it would have been too hard to arrange with everyone coming from New York. But I think if you live in Florida, that would be such a great idea just for a weekend away with the girls on the boat and even a bachelor party too. Like there's so
Yeah.
many, like they have a casino, they have like things that guys like. I don't know what guys like, but they, I think it would be perfect for a bachelor or bachelorette party. And honestly, I'd say it was probably the same amount of money as my bachelorette party, if not cheaper.
Yeah, because you're not paying for restaurants. Like you're just
Yeah.
paying flat fee. And if you want to do excursion, and it could even be a thing too, because you're spending so much time together where it's like, okay, girls, we're gonna meet tonight, we're gonna party, but during the day, this is what I'm doing. You want to do something different? Go ahead. You know what I mean? Like you could do that if you wanted to, or you could do something all together. But I think it's really cool to have that option too.
Exactly. There was just so many things to do. Like you weren't like forced into any activities really, which
Mm-hmm.
I loved about it. And I do wish I could have done that for my bachelorette party. But I mean, it was just not feasible coming from New York and everything and forcing everyone onto a cruise for like longer than the amount of time that we wound up going away.
Mm.
I don't think
I
that
would
would
have
have
done it.
worked.
You
Thank
know, I
you.
would have done it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
But I'm
that would
just
have been
not
really
sure if
fun.
everyone could have taken off like that much time from work and gone
No,
and
for sure.
made a whole
Yeah.
production out of it. So I'm saying if you live in a state that a short cruise goes out of, then I think that's a great idea.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
other travelers who I think it would be good for, I'd say really anybody, because if you're just someone that likes to chill on the beach, there's beaches. If you love snorkeling, there's snorkeling or like adventure activities. If you love history, they had the Jeep tours where they take you through all the historical sites and the towns and all that. So I could see anyone wanting to go on this cruise. Maybe if you get seasick, don't go. But
I mean, last time I kind of got seasick, I think I was more just overwhelmed,
mhm.
but I just bought like a bracelet and it helped a lot and I didn't get seasick after I bought the bracelet. So,
Yeah, and it's such a short cruise. I did feel the boat moving a little bit. And actually my fiance, when we got off the boat for like 2 days afterwards, he's like, I still feel it moving. So it definitely did like make him a little dizzy. I was fine. And I mean, I know some people do get violently seasick, but I feel like it's such a short cruise that, and they have so many things you can get. You could get the little patches behind your ears. They have the bracelets. They have acupuncture that helps with that too. So
oh
this,
yeah,
yeah, my mom did that on our Alaska cruise. She got acupuncture and it really helped.
that's so cool.
Yeah. So there's so many things you could do. So I mean, would I strongly advise it for someone that gets violently seasick? Probably not. But I think if you want to go and you get seasick, do it. I think there's ways around it.
Yeah, because like I said, as soon as I bought the bracelet, I was fine, and I do have issues with getting nauseous, and I was fine after that. So I think at least it's something to try, you know?
Exactly. And then maybe even test it out, just go on a short cruise like I did and see if you can handle a cruise and if you throw up or not before you go on a big long 7-day cruise and you're throwing up the whole time. Maybe take it slow.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that this vacation was really suitable for anyone that's looking for just a nice weekend away.
Wow, you are making me want to go on a cruise so bad now.
I'm in such a cruise mood now. Coming off that cruise, like all I want to do is cruise now.
Yeah. Well, I'm here, so
Yeah, let's definitely plan something.
for sure. And especially when I move to Florida, it'll be so easy.
Yeah, especially because I was doing some research and most of the cruises that go out of Orlando are Bahamas and mainly that area. But the cruises that go out of Tampa go to a lot of the other islands and to even some Central America, like Panama and South America,
Ooh.
Colombia, Aruba. They go to so many cool places. I think Belize was one of them. I really want to go to Belize. So a lot of cool ones go out of Tampa. It's like a different side that those cruises hit. And Tampa's not that far from where I am. It's like an hour and a half.
Okay, yeah, that's not bad at all. You can get someone to drive us and then
Yeah,
we just go.
it's not bad at all. And they had a parking garage. Just leave your car there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So there's a lot of cruises ahead of me, and I hope you'll be on some of them.
Yeah, please. That is like my new dream.
So that's really all I have to say about the Bahamas.
That sounds amazing. I'm so glad that we like did this podcast. I'm so glad that you went. I think this is amazing.
I know
And for people out there, I feel like it's a very budget friendly trip.
it really was. And I mean, I'm a little struggling right now because my job has not paid me yet. Still waiting. If they're listening, maybe they'll get the
Hurry
hint.
up.
But my check's a little late. But I feel like I could potentially take a cruise at this point and feel somewhat okay about it because that's how cheap cruises are.
Yeah, and again, you don't have anything to worry about.
Exactly. Yeah, everything's taken care of for you. The people bend over backwards for you to make sure you're having a good time. Just, I have no complaints about cruises. I've been on, I think, 4 cruises now, and
Wow.
every single one has been great.
Amazing. Love it. So, are we ready for the trivia question?
Yeah, but I'm so nervous because I still don't know. I kind of came to a decision in my head while we were talking this whole time, but now I feel like I don't want to say it because it might be the other thing.
Okay, how about this?
Yeah.
You can tell me your 3 choices, but you only choose one. If you get that one right, that'll be your tally for the week, like you get it right. But
Okay.
if you just want to give it just for the fun of giving, then that's fun too.
Okay, that's really stressful though.
Well,
but
listen.
I know. Gotta play by the rules. So,
okay, so the question is, which country produces the most coffee in the world?
okay. So my 3 guesses. Okay, so now I have 4 guesses, but one of them definitely doesn't count.
Okay.
So my 4 guesses are Colombia, Costa Rica, Brazil, and somewhere in Africa, because I once heard that somewhere in Africa produces a lot of coffee, but I don't remember which country. So
Okay.
my final answer, I think, is going to be Colombia, but I feel like it's Costa Rica.
All right. The answer is Brazil.
No, I said Brazil too. No.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was interesting because if I was answering this question, I would say the same thing. I'd say either Colombia or somewhere in Africa.
I said Brazil. No.
Yeah,
Can I get like a
sorry.
half point?
No.
No.
I gave you the rules before I said it.
All right. See, Brazil was like my 3rd choice. That one was the lowest out of the 3 for me.
Brazil.
Yeah.
Costa Rica I didn't realize that they produce so much coffee. I really didn't.
I knew they did, but you always hear Colombian coffee, Costa Rican coffee. You don't hear Brazilian coffee as much, or maybe I'm just not in the right places. I don't know.
Maybe it's just like not as good, but Colombia like produces better. Like I don't know why you always hear about Colombia and not Brazil.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I guessed the obvious answer, but I should know not to guess the obvious answer at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if it was Colombia, I wouldn't have asked the question.
That's true. I should have thought that.
Yeah.
Oh, so
that's
dumb.
how I was thinking you would think I was thinking.
I was so close. Could have had a free drink.
Well, that's not true because I might get a trivia question right later on.
I know. We also have to decide how many episodes are going to be in a season because I know I said we'll tally the answers when the season is over, but how long is a season going to be? You know?
That's a good question.
Like we could end it right here and just give me the win because I was the closest.
4 episodes per season. Lame. Maybe 10. I feel like that's a good number.
I think that's reasonable, but all our listeners, please don't quote us on that. If we do like anything below or above that, don't be like, no, you said 10.
We're just spitballing.
Yeah, because we actually never discussed this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess we'll see who gets I guess we'll see if you guess the question next week. I'm going to make it the same level of difficulty that you gave me. Just to be fair.
Very fair.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you would like to add before we sign off?
No, just go to the Bahamas. It's really fun. If you've been there or if you plan on going, leave a note to us in the comments on YouTube. We're going to be posting this on YouTube. If you have any questions also, you could shoot me a message. I'm going to be putting this on Spotify as well, as always, and on Anchor. And if you want to check out my blog, it's www.runwaysandbyways.com. We also have travel planning services. So if you need any recommendations or advice, or what else do we have? Oh, choose my destination. If you need any of that, you could find it on my blog. So that's really it.
Amazing. It's been so much fun.
Whether your plane is taking off from the runway,
Or you're driving down a byway.
we'll be your guides.